told me on paper where I hadn't seen map 1 or the run to this point, I'd say quite firmly, Liquid, not worried. However, seeing how we've gotten here, I am a little worried.
I mean, you got to address the elephant in the room, and that is always the mental for Liquid. Dropping a map 1, I mean, thank God they started to formulate, formulate some kind of comeback in the second half of that first map, but coming to this, I mean, it's a big positive to start on the attack here. ZETA's defensive stats are nothing to be desired on Haven.
Yeah, it's traditionally not a good map. Just putting it that way. We have to see if there's a difference here. Right now, Navarra denies any solid beginning. Lovely shots from him. Scream by his side. The brothers in action. Liquid want to take that space. And there are 2 players to try and stop them. A little bit of an open fight, and it's not gone well for Crow.
Here.
There's now Sugar Zero and Laz just going to have to be on the receiving end of this.
Actually, look to pull away from C here. Yampy going to try and creep onto B. Will be noted by the alarm bot. Again, with Sugar Zero drifting towards sewers, they're going to need a miracle here. Try and find something. Laz actually going to the backstab onto...
Hold on. Sugar Zero can get away as well. They can't close that gap fast enough. They've brought this back to, what, a 2v3. Blinded, but still going to be able to get towards the back of sight and tuck himself away for a second. They've lost track of him for now. Spots him out, doesn't eat the flash. Has a 1v1. There's no one to trade that. Link gets punished. A quick pickup from Soulcast. But the danger started to mount, but Liquid grasp on to round 1.
Sugar Zero almost finds the second from Sewers there as well. There's one player kind of out of action with Soulcast in the Trailblazer, so a lucky escape, if anything, there. Backstab time onto Yampy as well. That's the way it's opened up.
Yep, that's
so crispy with it. Great repeat here from Link as well to avoid the fault line and actually try and bail out. And they do close it out. Again, it almost spiraled out of control with them in terms of the timing there, especially on the mid pick.
Now, Fudge just coming back in is only a frenzy for depth. Nothing much else. So look for this being hopefully clean for Liquid. We want to see as many alive as possible. Looking a little shaky at the start, but they can calm their nerves, take their time, and get a feel out for the game, because it felt like they just weren't dictating the pace for a lot of map 1. So map 2 is now their greatest opportunity to revive a little bit of that faith in each other.
And cautious here, and ZETA already now, after a little bit of an exchange towards C, will lean towards a 5-man stack on A. See if Liquid can feel this out, or just going to try and force their way onto B, which will be wide open. No utility here to note it on the way in, but from Sewers they should catch some of these audio cues. With the power of the way being sent through as well, yeah, they should know. Actually, smoke comes up. Yampy should hear it, actually, so they know past this trap already. Will be there to greet Depp.
There is follow-up to this from the players. It's farming time. Yampy just wanted to go free farm on this one. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome though. Doesn't want to overcook it. Comes back around. Yeah, lovely stuff. No worries for Yampy. Beautiful round. Comfy stuff. Liquid stabilize a little here. Round 2 was clean. Exactly what we needed to see for them.
So it's interesting to see such a contrast here where these slow rounds look so uncomfortable for Liquid here, and it's just well handled. In this regard, we're not ZETA are going to look to get as proactive as they did on Fracture. Particularly here in the buy round, I'm looking towards some of this A lobby control. They might fight for it. Actually, only Sugar Zero over that side. It's actually 3 players towards C site. It allows to hold down the fort in mid. As you can see with the pings, Liquid might be leading into this now.
This could be the right read from ZETA. Smoke goes in, but they don't instantaneously work off the back. They're slow building towards garage. Flash comes through. Tommy gets handled. But no full commitment just yet. It's kind of clearing that early contact utility. Draws out a little themselves. They'll know the 10's around. I just don't know if they'll know that there's so much behind that as well.
We noted the difference as well in terms of utility being drawn out. It just wasn't happening on Fracture, so
yeah,
really these are big positives for me. Another first blood as well, Laz will fall, so they do lose this utility. Crow actually went to swing on that.
Oh, Scream's having a bit of a weird one here. Does actually make it towards the top of the site, but what on earth? Crow finally gets him, eats the flash, doesn't turn it well enough. Yampy closes in, gets pretty much B-side to themselves, excluding Depp, who's still trying to linger around. He's held that space. The Sugar Zero did push up over towards A-Long, so he's got faith in that, but now there has to deal with the traps put down. So Liquid haven't got that much room to work with. Depp's still in this. They still have presence. The lean from 10 isn't far off either. Yeah, he's right there by the side. I don't know if they're still going to clear sight so diligently. They are going to give it a good attempt. Yampi, good danger. Good amount of pressure. They're dealing with these rifles, and Navera, so hyper-aware of a player behind him, is stuck around, lingered long enough just to do enough, but actually gets outdone.
The adjustment on that brings it to a 2v2 here. Sugar 0 and 10 trying to find their way back onto C site.
Sugar Zero so quick with it, but Yampi's got himself a rifle, and it is a 1v2, and Sugar Zero's HP is a disaster, and Yampi is just the master of it, clutches it out, and converts the bonus.
Slow start to the first map, but here, off to a crazy start, actually 9-1 leading the charge for Liquid. Again, the composure already, it's way more apparent. It was on Fracture here. Liquid sticking to the game plan. A pretty clumsy approach to B site initially. I think Scream thought he had a dash, but it doesn't end up coming back to bite them. Nice clean up there from Yampi for the Red Bull clutch. ZETA actually going to pump the brakes very early on here. I think rightfully so. We'll see a big switch up, not necessarily in this next round, but looking towards their bye round. No real ultimate progress. Yes, Sugar Zero, I mean 4 and 3. Does have his Cosmic Divide online now, but nothing else really available for ZETA to rely on here, and this is the round Liquid. They're going to throw an Operator in the mix. Navera will get that online. But already a much, much better start, goes without saying here for Liquid.
I think you highlighted it perfectly to me, was the fact that Liquid are actually dealing with that utility in, I guess, a timely manner. Yeah,
I mean, it's creating a scenario where ZETA feel pressured enough where they need to, you know, figure something out. They'll send out some fact finders, so that just wasn't happening on Fracture.
No, not
ZETA were able to just sit back, like I said, somebody just literally staring at the ground with a snake bite sort of thing. So this pressure is already a massive contrast from Fracture. Well, Liquid can lean on that, and ultimately, I mean, I made the point for ZETA on map 1. Now Liquid have the advantage of, if they do want to run out a few quick rounds, a few fast executes, actually it's going to suit them perfectly. See if ZETA want to get weird with it here. See, SMGs across the board here, other than Laz on the Sheriff. They might actually commit to holding a little deeper here. Play close contact. Yeah, definitely. The early rounding here from Liquid, it's much, much better. No, and almost in a position to greet some of this aggression if it does come through.
The early default's fantastic. They're clearing utility well, they're drawing rotations, they're doing everything that you kind of, you know, talk about when you talk about the protocol list. It's looking really good. And we'll see if ZETA can disrupt that. Probably not in this round, of course. This should be a bit of a walkthrough. Scream going to take the first steps towards the site. And we know that it was, I think, Laz, lingering around towards Garage, and the rest of them have made their way through, but obviously Navera, now noting that, is going to turn his attention to the flank and keep a little bit of a mind towards Garage, I'm sure, as well. The call will be made. So Scream now going to be in charge of that. Keep control as best they can and see if they can keep this round clean. Again, ZETA don't have a great deal, but a couple of Spectres here and there, so if they can get close, they can be deadly. High Flash comes in, and there's the swing. Ten tries his best, but he doesn't get what he wants. Going to find the pointy end of the stick from Link, and there it is. There's a shutdown. Liquid just holding the line. That's everything you want to see. And Sugar Zero makes a valiant attempt over towards Long, and Navera's having none of it. Good work from Liquid.
Really, really well handled. Miguel and actually stacking up here. They only give ZETA an opportunity to even swing through for some of this, holding very, very close contact. Out from Garage. That's it, heads up there for Navera. Initially to back away, but ZETA immediately, they don't even entertain this flank control. They try and focus through, make use of these SMGs, but didn't get much done. Hoping for an adjustment here after that timeout in the buy round from ZETA. A little closer to some of these ultimates as well. This could be the turning point for them. Let's see if Liquid now has to dial up the pressure a little bit.
Well, it certainly could. Looks like they're addressing the control over towards A long, so that's something new added to the protocol list of at least identifying it, addressing it. Because we saw a couple of times they've been testing the waters, an early stack towards C coming out from ZETA, but quick to dismantle it, hit the rotation back to a more standard hold. It looks like once again this B piece is coming in. Seeker's just sprinkled on top. Tommy doing the best he can, but it's not going to do well. And then it's going to be the Doggo coming out for one side and Soulcast ready with his on the other. So again, ZETA going to be put pretty much instantaneously towards a retake.
Let's see, with everybody stacked out.
They pushing?
Liquid are getting aggressive here.
They are. They're going to try and crunch through on towards that connector side on A. and ZETA's time is just being ripped away from them, just rotting the clock. Flashback online for 10. Looking to maybe instigate something, but Yampy is holding them down. Quick little answer back though. Sugar Zero and Crow can at least break through on one side. Scream to try and deal with one on the other. That's now 10 gone. Attention turns. Laz delivers! Finds Navarro, but Scream in a 1v2, but time is starting to tick. He doesn't have to hold this for too long. He gets a great shot, but he can't find the follow-up.
What a round. Particularly from Liquid, I honestly thought as if they had that with ZETA's complete lack of control or even attempt to retake mid. It came so late on. Unfortunately, just a couple of key engagements going their way. Timing here for Laz to find one to Link. Like I said, he's the only one from ZETA to really address it. I mean, we know how comfortable this B plant and just reset into mid. And they almost can't believe it themselves, I'll be honest. It's when that aggression comes through from Liquid, yes, they don't initially find a kill from that, but it slows down. It forces ZETA to reset in a really uncomfortable position, particularly when you're trying to retake B site.
But I mean, look at the conversion off the back monetarily. You're going to have odds and ends still for ZETA here, and obviously on the other side, Liquid looking lush for it. That's the big game changer though. The depth still able to get that operator out. Finds Yampy, and that's been the pretty much heavy hitter for Liquid so far, I'd say. And Liquid have to fight for this space back. Sura is not completely cleared. Long is not completely cleared either. They need to once again build through that list. And it looks like they want to eye up that C site, potentially Link over here to at least for now. See that slow creep with the spike as well coming through.
First time really seeing an unanswered first blood here for ZETA. So, again, actually the question pivots more towards Liquid of that recovery mode once again. Laz sitting pretty deep away from his utility, but and the smoke coming through on Garage will pull him back towards site.
How much can Laz do, though? Again, yes, the operator did a great deal of early damage, but they weren't quick on these rotations, nor is he obviously in the right place, and the rest is stingers and bits and pieces. But if they do go back towards A, are they overcooking this? Have they overthought it? No, okay. It looks like they've decided that C will be the end goal for now.
I mean, with Yampy falling, Laz can lean on this lockdown a little more.
True.
And with the time ticking away, the late round lockdown, one of the most concerning, actually is preemptively here.
Buys time for rotation at least, to an extent. Spike will go down. No, it won't. No, it won't. They've got to back away. That is such perfect work. Time bought rotation now in place, and they're surrounded. Bear in mind, we have players lingering in towards middle.
They got a safe.
They can't do anything.
Yeah.
That's so sick. ZETA looking unfazed by this.
I think initially there, where Liquid see that the utilities burn up, I mean, Laz pops his nano swarms. They're almost assuming that rotation's come through, but literally on the back of the lockdown, I even said it, late round lockdown, not even really, the timing's slightly off, I'd argue, but it's the gravity well that pulls.
Yes.
They pull him off the spike there. And Liquid, I mean, that's the sort of round that you hate to see.
You feel a bit silly with that one. You're like, we lost to, I guess, an ult and an operator at that point. And just
what a weird round to watch.
Yeah,
I gotta say,
comms are weird right now, just very quiet. Spikes in spawn. You're working through some feelings. And now they have to kind of really start trying to figure out what the hold looks over towards A, because they haven't really had this early fight too much. Navarro's found it. How do you do that? Straight up damage right back in. 10. Give it a little boost on the way out as well. Just get out of here. Evacuate the site. It's ours. Liquid. Larger than charge, and the site is there. Smokes go up. No real contest on the way back in now.
So we'll wait for the plant here. The Rolling Thunder set up, and the Cosmic Divide goes through.
Okay, what do they find?
They cancel the plant off here.
10
can't get out.
10's, he's made a bit of a meal of it. And yeah, it's destruction on the other side. A little bit of a fumble on the timing, a little bit of fumble on just getting out of that window. They could not capitalize on the utility invested. And Liquid course correct back to 5-2.
I mean, the best thing to see after that previous fumble is to see Liquid come out confidently, close out this round.
The discipline. Lovely. You can see, I can only imagine the ZETA were just mentally a bit weirded out after just, the drop down's not worked, how we put everything into that. But still, timeout, timeout comes in, just going to readdress things. I think it's the right call as well.
Whether or not here, I mean, I want to see ZETA try and challenge this default Liquid, because it's lots of time to make use of here in the early round. Again, whether or not actually they're going to test this kind of damage control on the side of Liquid. And the key ones you look towards is isolating the kill outside A lobby. Nivera has been good for holding that.
Very solid.
Again, actually good on the swing in the previous round as well to find that opener. And not seeing, I mean, we talked about two of the kind of win conditions here for ZETA. Actually, Depp and 10 having a very slow start here.
Yes.
Whether or not they're going to be able to springboard off this timeout. Looking at the purchase, I mean, pretty there or thereabouts. I mean, with the round we saw with the SMGs thrown in the mix, I'm pretty confident we're going to try and string something together here.
This does turn a lot of the attention rightly towards Depp and 10 this round. Looking at the purchase purely on that term, I want to see if they can find a bit more impact, and I think the desk kind of highlighted at the start, seeing Depp, you know, now on the jet. A couple of the other roles kind of being, you know, switched around to an extent. We have to see the depth of ZETA now, out of that comfort zone we know they look very solid in. So it does kind of readdress that point and reaffirm it as something to keep in the forefront of your mind. But we go back into this and we look towards those rifles that are in place. Early contact through middle. It looks like that's something they want to try and figure out themselves here. Oh, Blink. Blink. Easy first blood.
Yeah. Liquid have found so many of them so far. As with Sheriff in hand, will be spotted out by Yampi. Forced back onto site. Now you can see just the adjustment post engagement here, especially with the first blood coming through. Catching with the wide swing, Depp will respond but quickly traded out, and
good work.
Liquid find everything. Sugar Zero, the last man standing.
The script for Liquid right now is perfect.
Yeah.
They are playing the perfect tune. Everything's looking good. This is what the hell just happened on map 1. Let's just get back on track. We are not messing around anymore. This is just composure at its most. And it's almost not as an exciting, obviously explosive game, but if you're a Liquid fan, this is exactly what the Doctor ordered. They needed a map like this to just get themselves back to where they should be. Just reaffirm some of those worries they were having before, that they were finding none of the early work that they wanted. Now these nice sight hits coming through, good defaults at the start, just kind of catching and dealing with everything. And I'm glad you highlighted kind of Nivera's impact over towards that A site as well. You know, the amount he's been able to control kind of going towards sewers. It's very hard to take that space away from him.
The key thing here, I mean, ZETA not really being in a position. These first bloods are coming so early and so far away from Liquid, even leaning towards the site. They can't really make use of what looked so good for them on Fracture. It was these ratty little traps set up,
yep.
You know, these close contact crossfires. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to achieve, which is why we were almost seeing them over-rotate in every single round here. Again, initially 3 towards C, and now this 4-man stack towards A. Depp posted up with the operator, and again, doesn't even want to entertain a peek towards A lobby.
This could be the correct stack, though. If they do continue to build this way, which does seem highly likely at this point. Flash sent out to middle, gets nothing, so they feel as though maybe they can stick around in this longer. Set piece, how does it look again? Now there's more of an active fight on towards it. Seems to go in at the same time, but Scream's gonna break on through. It's target rich for Scream. Sprays on him, he has no vision, but suddenly he gets the reveal and he sees another, finds it with a frenzy. Sugar Zero gets outdone, Link's there. This is powerful from Liquid. The method to the madness is correct this time. Chemists who have found the formula, correcting the ship from map 1. Now Laz, you've been fantastic, but this is a little too much on the plate potentially. Yes, dealt with. And Liquid just going through the motions. This is good stuff.
And even in a round there where everybody's in the right place at the right time, I think actually 3 members of ZETA eaten up in that fault line.
Yeah.
So not even an opportunity to make use of this stack. Yeah, Scream gets it so quick. Again, the timing on the paranoia is perfect for him. I'm not actually sure, was 10 actually in his Trailblazer there as the hit comes through?
They kind of need to do this because I think if we are being very realistic about how, you know, the comm sounded on map 1, it was just very deflated, very, you know, flat. I think flat is the main word. It's just... This is a different look, though, for Liquid. This is a big, big wake-up call to them. And a quick reminder that, you know, as I said, yes, they weren't quote-unquote meant to be here. They didn't qualify in the traditional sense. But they're a team that has accolades, that has history to this. History in these sort of matchups to live through the lower bracket at times. And ZETA getting tested on a map that just, I've got to be honest, doesn't look very good for them.
Well, I said it is one that stands out in terms of looking at their defensive performance,
sure,
particularly on Haven. And I think we're just seeing a complete lack of versatility here. There's no real adjustment in any of these setups. That, like I said, you could criticize maybe these over-rotations coming through. They just haven't found anything to kind of lean on, any sort of stability to find here. And Scream, again, find an opener here for Liquid and see Sight on a platter right now.
Up for the taking as the spike makes its way through. Solgas going to find Sugar Zero for free. It's a flash though. Try and find him maybe a little bit of damage on the way back in. Yep, Ten's done well. Dep finds another. They're still mechanically outstanding, ZETA, but again, the numbers, the weaponry, it's all there for Liquid. Link's out of bullets. So might have to work on that. There's already, Dep's going to put him to work. Now the switch up, Link now notices he's got to be down to a pistol. Maybe there's still hope in this. By hook or by crook, Navera is still standing though. Crow tries to swing, Navera says no. And Liquid make it to 8.
The rock in the backline, Navera, even when it just turns into a very Liquid-esque round on site.
Very Liquid-esque.
He's there to bail him out. We'll find their 8th. And now ZETA back on a purchase here, but I'm curious as to what's behind this. Yes, Blade Store available to offset that final round purchase, but you're going to be scraping pennies together. You see, is Dep actually going to throw the operator in the mix here?
All set up.
The operator isn't just yet.
Teleport's ready.
Blade Storm.
That's a little odd considering I think the purchase is going to suffer next round.
I think they just need a round. At this point, if that's what they feel their best opportunities are with that, maybe him being proactive with the Blade Storm, fair enough. Goes for it. Link is all too aware, waiting, lingering in the shadows in the backline. Scream's going to pop it as well. And there it is. Dep's in danger. Has to try and dip out, and he does keep his life for now, but starting to test that deep default we've seen Liquid run.
The first time, honestly, but it's kind of a solo mission.
Yeah.
No real support system in place there for Dep to even find any sort of value or... Scream actually will just charge his way onto B site here, and it's wide open for the taking.
Yeah, Scream's got himself in a very low position. Oh, this on the push through. Yeah, no sweat
Fully blind.
for Scream. Oh, he doesn't even see them. Scream is just unleashing fury. Does get found finally, but it's Crow with 10 HP. And it's going to be Liquid just moving forward. This is just quick work, really, isn't it?
Oh, what a polarizing performance here from Liquid again. On the brink of actually closing this out. 10-2, like I said, we'll see what the purchase looks like. How it settles for ZETA. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, just all headshots.
Yeah, oh, obviously.
Obviously. My bad. Why wouldn't they be? Just crosshair placement king. 2 to 9. And we do have to start considering split at one point, but we've still got another half to go.
You want to play?
At this point, we get proactive. ZETA going to try and flip the script here, and I kind of like that. We wanted to see them try and challenge his default, see how that works out. It looks like in round 12 they're going to attempt it. Dep did make it past, and has been unnoted thus far. Yes, they had the trade at the start, Scream and 10.
I've got your trail.
But well, that's a bit problematic.
Yeah, the Seeker actually going to reveal Dep's push.
Instantly neutralizing it. A little bit of a shame there for him. And now here comes that quickness to the attack again. These A takes have been picture perfect from Liquid. Laz has to just sit back and watch a passenger in this half as Liquid are just turning every screw. Dep can do nothing. His vision finally gets brought back in and actually finds Yampy taking a wander. Now what else can be done? Not much. Navera and Solgas close down the account. It's 10 to 2 and yeah, it does feel as though ZETA, I've got to say it, have just been a passenger in this half.
They have, like I said, just a total lack of versatility. No adjustment really in any of these rounds. Like I said, the only time I've ever seen anybody try to challenge this has been Dep, and it was a solo mission.
Yep.
And Laz doesn't even get a chance to use the judge. Navera.
Yeah, night and day. Really night and day performance from map 1 here. And a stark and a sharp reminder to Liquid fans to not lose hope just yet. We'll be back in a moment after the desk.
Oh yeah, we're full of hopium here on the desk. I mean, we talk about teams having tough first losses in a match like this, but that was a great bounce back, Tom, considering what happened on map 1.
Well, yeah, they've gone into a map where I think compositionally they're a lot more comfortable. These are sort of the jokes I like to make about Scream comps, like where it almost looks like they're trying to set up the superstar that they have on their roster. But it's also just everybody on their comfort picks, and it looks incredibly good for Liquid.
Yeah, Scream has come out all guns blazing, and this is also the player that Sliggy's talked about being the most vocal, the biggest leadership figure for Team Liquid at this event. And I think it's going to be instrumental to any potential comeback that he is a player that is popping off, getting space, being a big part of the entry.
Yeah, for sure. And I actually want to lead it into a round that we actually have, which has him as that focal point, because Scream is always someone that if you're going to set him up, if you're going to give him everything, he is the sort of man that will take over a round. And in this one in particular, you can just see that. Smokes in, you got the aftershock, Paranoia leaving the player on the backside blind, the stuns coming through to at least try and deter the man, but at this point, he's already got a double entry.
And they set him up so well, and they have such a good game plan on this map. That, to me, is the biggest difference, because it's not like Depp is, you know, a tragic player. I've watched him online in Japan. He's been popping off. But when they come to Haven and they rely on him, it just looks like desperation, because they don't have that same level of game plan. To me, Haven looks easily like Zeta Division's weakest map that they allow you to pick, that they don't first ban it instantly. So this... Liquid have instantly bounced back and I think got all the momentum under themselves in this series. Assuming they close things out fairly comfortably here, which maybe not be a guarantee, I think they'll be feeling a lot better heading into map 3.
Yeah, well, the job is not done yet. I think we have seen some kind of comebacks here before. Let's see Pansy and Hypok if Zeta can do it.
That's ambitious. It's ambitious. I think we need to be realists about this. We know that Zeta's map pool does not go as deep in those kind of high highs that we've seen on other maps. And I think, rightly put on the desk, though, this is one that they do let through that is certainly not within the comfort zone. And you're seeing just such a contrast to how Liquid approach it.
Absolutely. We'll see here as Zeta can get off to a quick start here in the second half, straight through with the Trailblazer through Garage. So Liquid happy to give this up as well. See, not coming through early enough here, but be able to get a clean plant. No pressure coming through just yet for Liquid. Look at them, they're all tucked up, just ready to force their way back onto site.
Still a fair amount of utility as well for Liquid to play with to try and facilitate this push back in. Depth though ready. Spamming away. Liquid finding not a great deal on the way through here. Actually, time is being drawn back. Nice work to temper the pace from Zeta still. You can see the flash in hand, exchange on it. Both now blinded, Depth to find a Vera. Flash goes in again, they re-aggress, they find another pick. This is good from 10, this is still life for them yet! Zeta gonna get the first in the second half. 3-10.
Gun here.
The important thing to know, I mean, Josh used the word desperation to kind of rely on it, but I didn't see any of that kind of scrambling to throw something else, see what sticks on defense. Whether or not we're gonna see actually Zeta completely flip the script and be more decisive in their attacking half. I mean, this is definitely a good start if that's the perspective that you have. Definitely need a couple more of those to feel a bit more comfortable about this 7-round deficit for Zeta here. Going to be set up with a fault line here through to A lobby. Swing actually comes through. Nevera finds
standing.
The second
still
as well.
standing. He is still standing and still firing on all cylinders. You get past one, you get greeted by another. Soulcast does dip eventually, but early damage has already been achieved.
Actually has the Phantom here to make use of. Dash on. He does find one. Yampi will fall. Maybe a moment here to take a breather on site.
I don't know if you can. They're so close. Yeah, they do just about back away. I was waiting to see if Soulcast would dare to try and aggress forward, but no. Has to respect it for now. Wait for the support to come into place. Nevera gonna find his way back after such a blistering beginning. Still has to do a lot more though. Scream gonna start closing the net as well.
Scream's very early as well, with no utility to note it. Zeta have to be cautious of it.
Still shaky. This doesn't feel as controlled as I'd like. Sugar Zero trying to find that difference maker, control it as best he can. Time becoming a factor though. Scream starts his account, and he might just close Zeta's already. The drop down and Scream,
man.
The brothers in arms right now, starting and closing the round, and the defuse to boot. It's 11 for Liquid.
Yeah, Scream just has so much time and space to set up this flank, and I think Link has literally just sat in A Link, holding a Paranoia, literally for that entire time. The execution is perfect. We talked about setting him up for success. What a great example of that.
Picture perfect.
Let's go!
And you do like to see him getting fired up. right? Like, he is such
I mean,
an
that LAN
influence on that
experience
side.
starts to shine through
It does, because again, when we talk about Liquid against, let's say, other opponents, sometimes I question their ability to dig a game back from a deficit, right? That kind of like, you know, whenever you saw, you know, Mech, for example, like, I feel like you could always see them work a game back no matter the odds. A couple other big teams can do the same. I always question that with Liquid, but if he can be the one to kind of keep that morale up, but we go back in, Vera has to respect that, and yeah, missing the first.
Let's go into this, 2 rifles in the hands of Depp and 10. Stinger and 2 sheriffs elsewhere. So what you can get done here. Actually, Scream posted up top inside B. A lot of emphasis towards C and Garage here from Liquid. Nevera actually holding super deep in spawn.
I want to see what ZETA do with this. They've been given a little bit of room to work with, so I do want to see how they approach it. Liquid can extrapolate so much of that early protocol information finding that they could do here, but it's actually going to be Soulcast. This is interesting. Flash back up in 5 as well if he wants both. He's just holding ground. Spammed out though. What? The commitment. No shot. 10, are you serious? How? Oh, he's got him as well. Conviction in approach. 10's punished Soulcast. I have no idea how he's done it. Read the play so perfectly, but they're still looking like they want to hit up that C site. Split in through Garage, and Yampy has to be careful not to get caught in no man's land. Link, control. The man is precise as ever. 10 though, quick trade out. He is still operating on all cylinders. Scream at the back of the site. The Seekers go in. Nevera has to back away. 10 puts him down. 10 is doing it all for ZETA right now. They are keeping them alive.
I'm still absolutely mind blown by that wallbang. It's the perfect response as well. It's just the one member of Liquid, I think, that plants the seed that they're going to need to rotate here. The timing of the execute onto C, perfect. I'm not sure if they heard a flash come through. I mean, I'm trying to think back of whether or not we noted the Trailblazer or a flash coming through
he invested
somewhere.
early utility, the Trailblazer to go deep. Like, it did eventually push up through sewers, but so much conviction behind that.
Nice.
We're talking about Liquid's ability to find free first bloods. They don't come much more free than that. But absolutely no line of sight at all. Scream straight down. C long here with Paranoia. Let's see the counter fault line coming through from Crow. Just to try and catch somebody off.
That's a weird buy coming out from Liquid. Look at the state of it. Nevera and Yampy working with far less than ideal. Have to bank a little on Scream in this one. Soulcast will link.
Well, 1 kill for Nevera will get the Tour de Force online as well, so it could be a pivot factor for them. ZETA slowing approach once again. I think they're going to be wallbanging that every single round now.
In Nevera, you said it needs one. If he gets one, he becomes such a big threat here. Spots them. He knows it's game on now. Can't get what he wants. Has to bend the knee, fall away slightly, look for a new angle to address it potentially. And ZETA are closing the gap fast. No mess in here. They want that space, they want that site. It's going to be theirs.
Try to set up the fault line here, whether or not there's going to be anybody follow up just yet.
Scream
over the top with the Blade Storm.
You got to set up Scream because he will make the most of it. Never turns it down when you can see that opportunity beckoning. And ZETA now in that 4v5 post-plant, but bear in mind the weapons are still far from ideal. Depp still outdoes Scream. Laz with the follow-up. Depp on the side looks towards one. He knows there's one in heaven. Spots one as well, working through on the connector. Soulcast finding 2 out of nowhere as Depp now starts to break a sweat. And the slow flank. I don't think they know that Sugar Zero could be here. They are none the wiser. And now he has to reveal, but look at the weapon. It's only a stinger! And heartbreaking there as Soulcast catches him in the end. Diffuse will come through. And Liquid, 12 now beckoning on the board.
And not a million miles away, 3.9 seconds left on that. If they could buy just a little more time on site, maybe Sugar Zero can make something happen, but...
There he is.
The fault line, Blade Storm over the top. It's old, but it's golden. It finds actually a crucial kill in the retake there for Liquid. And with a scrappy investment, a full force buy actually coming out from them. See where ZETA sit now in terms of their purchase. I mean, the Sheriff, the Blade Storm to offset this a little bit. But no margin for error now. Liquid on map point here to force a third.
You can hear the ults being invested into. Nevera has his now. So Long is all his. Keeps that. Depp on the other side, raring to go though. Happy to dive through towards Garage, and it's going to be Link to greet it if he does decide to try and fight for it. Just going to pop in the utility, but Depp's ahead. And the patience begins. Who blinks first?
There's been no pressure towards B yet from ZETA, so Scream still in this kind of weird spot up top. You can argue he should be unchecked here. Whether or not Depp's actually going to make a dash up draft. Bait out some of his shots, but he's actually got Yampi here in support as well. Oh, he will be noted there with that Depp. Would have heard that jump.
But you're right though, it's not just Scream here. He does have support. Yampi just starting to drift slightly further back here. And there it is, reveal. Scream's already found 10. Depp couldn't do anything with it. And now left in a little bit of no man's land. You gotta be careful he doesn't overpush this. Last try to take space in the meantime, up by Sewer. And you're gonna see instantly Soulcast comes back around, unafraid. Stands there for the fight, retakes that side space as well. Digs in his heels. Forces Laz back, but in the meantime, now the sport's in. Now the cavalry's arrived. Soulcast takes the fight on 13 seconds. It's getting down to the wire. And Scream still standing, still delivering. And now Sugar Zero, the flank that time gets red. But he doesn't get put down just yet. 3 seconds. The clock is his biggest enemy, and it's all but over. 13-4.